Everyone want to find a gold, but not ready to mine. They will cramp you and tell you not to fold. That's null. This talent. Everyone want to find a gold, but not ready to mine. They will come through and tell you not to fold, that's null. This talent that carries a gold ready to be refined. They wish you to go for gold, but hesitate to support when you find a path. And when you hit the road and ask for a ride, they start to hide. This just blows my mind. Sometimes I just ought to mind my own business. A business I don't even know if I own. But this potential carries overload. I don't know how long I can hold. But I'm just an ore, ready to be refined. But I've never rolled or popped a smoke, so if I say I'm the ore, I don't mean the ore, but I mean the gold ore. So who is ready to grab it and polish it all? They say the only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. But how do I turn my vision into reality if the reality is just an illusion? They'll tell you, go for your passion, mute and action, marry your ambition, fight you get it. But in my society, no one believes in talent. But when you make it, you only become a target. I've drawn my circle. If you don't support us, you only become a tangent. They won't support you from the beginning, but when you read the top, they only want to tap your fame. That is so lame. Someone will say I'm talking like I'm crazy, but even now, check me out, I got no fugazi. You see, no one is ready to give the beginners an opportunity. They only want to help you if you pay them some money. And it's funny. You want a star to be your friend, but you don't want your friend to be a star. You really got to redefine your priority. Buy now before it turns priceless. If not, never see I'm reckless. We rise together or we meet at the top. There's no two ways about that. Just call me the 21st century Smith. I'm the PenGod. Yeah. What is love? They ask. Before you can answer, unless you fall in it or get thrown in it. They try to search for perfect love and unconditional love. Really? There is no such thing as unconditional or perfect. Oh, you don't understand? Then let me revert. Even the agape love has a condition. He said, follow my commandment and you'll be saved. Follow my commandment. That is the condition. But you see, you can only get a genuine love. Love with an irreplaceable condition. Love don't cost a thing, but not in our generation. The number of gifts you present measure the love you get in return. But what happened to care and trust? What happened to genuine communication, affection, and attention? What happened to respect? But all these are thrown away because you are in a generation where people think love is bought at the shop right and happiness at the local shop. The youth are too obsessed with money. They don't even care if they kill a homie. Their consciences are blurry. They think money gonna make them happy. But ain't this obvious? Because huge platforms are given to criminals and fraudsters. You don't have money, you don't make sense. Rest, I can't even rest. I gotta beat this out of my chest. They confuse life with chess. They think it's a game. Burning great opportunities for temporal comfort, just for money and fame. Always confused by the logarithm of success. 50 cars, 20 mansions, not to mention the luxuries. But love and happiness is what we crave until we touch the grave. Never confuse love with papers and happiness with pleasure. Because I have seen broke couples who have never fought in their life before, but rich couples always in their counselor's front desk. I'm the PenGod, and when you meet me, I gotta give you the rest.
All right, and you just heard from PenGod, and now we're going to have some conversations with him. Very interesting spoken word there. PenGod, how are you doing?
I'm great, Mom.
You're good?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm 100% great.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about you, and I mean, thank you. You just gave me this collection. We'll talk a little bit about that too. The Anchor. It's his maiden poetry collection?
Sure.
Okay.
That's my debut one.
Yes. Did you study literature or poetry in that point?
No, I graduated in literature science.
So how did you get interested in this, and for how long have you been doing it?
For like 4 years
4
now.
years.
When I was in level 100, I think I was one of the best like communication students. So my lecturer, who happens to be my patron right now, we did a quiz and I had like 30. So he gave me a book. Then I gave it to my mom, and then my mom said I should do something to like acknowledge what the lecturer has done for me. So I started like writing. So I started writing like screenplays and all other like fiction, non-fiction, novels and all that. But there was a time I wrote a piece like a son of nobody wants to become somebody without knowing anybody, must not think like everybody. And then it went viral, and I was like, okay, it rhymes and it makes sense. So it's like poetry. So I think I should think about writing poetry. So within like 2 weeks, I've written like 20 poems. I'm like, woo, then I can do it. So let me do it. Then that's how the magic started.
That's how it started.
Sure.
It started. So what's the journey been like? So you're a spoken word artist.
And a poet.
And a poet as
Sure.
well. Okay, good. And I'm glad you made the distinction that you're both, because not every poet is a spoken word artist.
Sure.
Not every spoken word artist
Is
is a writer,
Sure.
you know. So you write, and
Yeah, I'm a
that's
complete
evident.
writer.
You're a complete writer.
So I write
Okay.
novels, plays, screenplay, poetry, and then I write articles and stuff. So like I think.
So how did you get into performance?
You know, there was a guy who is called Emmanuel Asante Victor, Imavic. So he's into movie making and all that, and he's my friend. So he said like people don't really like reading like raw. So when you write and you let people read it like alone, they might not be reading it. So why don't you perform it? So I started like listening to other spoken artists like Prince EA and the foreign like spoken artists and some of the local ones, and then I said okay. So I think on the 22nd February I had my first performance at
That was when, last year or this year?
That was in 2019.
Okay, so 22nd February 2019.
Yes, that was when I had my first performance. That was in Central Campus.
Okay.
So I
You were still
performed
in
that.
school then, or you had graduated
I
by
have
then?
graduated. I'm now doing my national service
Okay, where?
at Theatre Arts in Central Campus, UW.
Okay, so you're still sticking within the arts.
Yeah.
But
Because
how is the craft growing?
It is growing rapidly because now I've added acting to it, and then I think last week we did a stage play called Firestorm, Sakis West Firestorm, and I played the role, and everybody was like, "Whoa!"
So you can act too.
I can act too, so I like. So some of my friends call me like I'm a creative art. So everything about creative art, I'm into it. So I think the journey is good.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this book before you
Okay.
go. So it's called The Anchor.
Sure.
Okay, so is there a general theme that runs through the poems here? And how long did it take you to put it together?
I think a year. And the anchor, you know, as we all know about anchor, it holds the ship so that it doesn't sail offshore. So that's how, you know, life is like a storm and life is like an ocean, swashing and backwashing. So we need something to hold us firm. And sometimes we lose ourselves because there are certain information and certain knowledge we don't have. So, and I've been able to observe nature, and then I've observed nature come out with some certain experiences, and then I put them together and then put it into this book to help people get motivated and inspired, love and be loved, and above all, be humane.
Yeah, be humane. Wonderful. Thank God.
Sure.
Proud of you. And
Thank you very much.
can't wait to see how far you go with this. Don't give up on it.
Man, never.
Don't?
I come from Japel Chrome. Where we come from,
You don't give up.
Give
It's
up
not-
is
it's
not
not
in our
option.
dictionary.
It's not
No.
option. It's not
And
option.
when I took my dictionary, I didn't see that word in it.
Glad to hear that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
We
you're
hope to
welcome.
see you again soon.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been speaking to PenGod. He's a poet and a spoken word artist. We enjoyed some of his performances a little earlier, and he has come out with this book, which he shared with us as well, The Anchor.